We're live.
Perfect. Maricela, can you get the agenda up for us, please?
Yes, give me just a second, sorry.
Perfect. No, good. No worries. In the meantime, well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for being present for our meeting on Friday, October 23 at 10 a.m. Let me see, we do have Ariana present, so we are good to go. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 10:04 a.m. And I'll go ahead and move right on to our Pledge of Allegiance. We now give time before the meeting to recognize those who wish to recite the pledge, reminding those in attendance that they are not required to do so. So if you would like to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance with me, we can go ahead on the count of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the
of the United
States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, guys. I'll go ahead and move on to our roll call and establishment of quorum. So, President, I am definitely present. I do have our Vice President of Menifee Valley Campus, Nicholas Singh.
I am present.
Thank you. Our Vice President of San Jacinto Campus, Victoria Ann Caballero.
Present.
Thank you. Our Student Trustee, Ariana Rodriguez. Ariana, this is your cue. Okay, well, she is in the call, so she is present. I do have our Commissioner of College Activities, Janelle Beza.
Here.
Thank you. Our Commissioner of Financial Affairs, Tracy.
Here.
Thank you. Our Commissioner of Institutional Effectiveness, Stephanie Vasquez.
Here.
Thank you. Our Commissioner of Public Relations, Captain Chamberlain.
Here.
Thank you. Our Senator of Financial Affairs, Thomas Gonzalez.
Here.
Thank you, Thomas. Our Senator of Financial Affairs, Alexis Martinez.
Here.
Thank you, Alexis. And lastly, our Senator of Public Relations, Daily Dewitt. She will not be present. Moving on, we can go ahead and scroll down to our SGA Advisors. We do have our Associate Dean of Student Services here present with us, Maya Cardenas.
Here.
Thank you. Our SGA Advisor, Jose Fernandez, he will be present, but he will be a little tardy, but he will be present. Our second SGA Advisor, Suzanne Ortega.
Here.
Thank you. And lastly, our SGA Advisor, Maricela Magana.
Here.
Perfect, thank you. And I'll go ahead and move on to our approval of minutes for October 16, 2020. Luckily, I was able to send out the agenda and the minutes before my email crashed. So I'm hoping everyone had a chance to view the minutes. Can I get a motion of approval for those minutes, please?
I'll motion.
Okay, and that was
Victoria.
Perfect, thank you. And then can I get a second?
I second.
Perfect, thank you, Janelle. Okay, perfect. The minutes have been approved for October 16, 2020. I'll go ahead and move on to our board reports and information items. All reports are limited to be 1 minute each. Additional items can be allotted with a motion and a second from the Senate. So I'll go ahead and start with our advisory reports. Advisors, any reports this week?
Hi. Oh, Maya, you want to go ahead first?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. No, it's great to be back, everybody. I missed being here. Coming back from my medical leave is never easy, but it was so great to see all your faces in the town hall and just get acclimated. So I would say that's probably the biggest thing. We chatted with Brian a little bit before this meeting about what an amazing job y'all did in the SGA town hall. I really would love to see more of that. I know Dr. Schultz would love to see more of the SGA's just presence, and y'all did such a phenomenal job. So thank you, and just thank you for representing students so really well. Y'all just make us proud as advisors, and I know I speak for the team when I say that. So great job, and I hope your week is going well. There's a lot going on. We have a national election coming up very soon. And I know that we all have a lot of feelings about it, regardless of where you stand. But I just want us to keep the focus on each other, taking care of each other, taking care of our students, and let's just letting that shine. Because I think if we can do that, right, no matter what happens in the election, you all as student leaders, as politicians in training, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's actually a really honorable thing. You all are the future, and our job is to support you as much as we can. So keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to get through this, and it's going to be great. It really will. So thank you.
Thank you, Maya. And Maricela, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Brian, and good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. So today I wanted to go ahead and report on Food for Thought. I was able to participate in that yesterday. So that's happening pretty much every week. So whether it's at the San Jacinto campus or the Menifee campus, you will be able to find the food distribution happening. So something that for all of you to be aware of and to let your fellow students know. It happens from 3 to 5 p.m. So good stuff. And then I also wanted to put on your radar, I will be sharing in the chat in just a second our next upcoming Eagle Talk series. So your voice matters is coming up. This one is geared more so in the medical side of realm and why your vote also affects even your health. So we will be meeting with a student who is currently now working on her med degree. So even if you have any questions on that, come over and chat with us. So that will be happening coming up on October 28th at 12 p.m. And then also, as was mentioned, the elections are coming up. So we will go ahead and have our next Eagle Talk series after the one coming up, which will be a safe space for students to come and share their feelings, thoughts on how the election has transgressed and ways to continue to be involved in your community at whatever, in whatever capacity you can. So we will have resources as well. And that's pretty much it for my report today. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Maricela. And Suzanne, lastly, any advisor reports this week?
Yes, thanks, Brian. So we're closing out Undocumented Student Wake Up Action. If you weren't able to attend any of the events this week or you missed one, feel free to go visit the website, msjc.edu/dreamers/week of action. All the recordings from the events are there. You can go back and view them. We have financial aid workshops for our dreamers. We had a great kickoff event on Monday that you should definitely go see if you missed. So go check those out there. And then also we have a request for one of the SGA students to sit on the ICTC committee, Information Communication and Technology Committee. So they meet the first Wednesday of every month from 12:30 to 2. I'll send out a formal email. So they're just looking for a couple students, just so it's on your radar.
Perfect. Thank you, Suzanne. I will go ahead and move on to our executive officer reports. Any executive officer reports this week?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. I will let Casting go first, and then I'll go ahead and let you go after Mariana.
Okay. So, hi. I hope you all had a really good week. I know I did. So I really hope you had a good week. But so I have 3 bullet points for this report. I attended the college activities committee meeting and we talked about making some flyers, and I did have one emailed out to Janelle and Maricela this morning. And so we're getting started on getting the events going with flyers and everything. And I also attended the physical resource committee meeting with Brian, and for me, I'm still learning about it, but it seems pretty much really cool. We learn about what's going on the construction on campus, and it's just a really good committee. And also, I just wanted to update everyone on the Instagram. We've been posting as much as we can on Instagram, resharing a lot, and I did make some posts about the agenda and Undocumented Student Action Week. So we've been pretty busy on the social media, and it's going well. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Caston. Any other executive officer reports this week?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if you can hear the dogs barking in the back. I swear my neighbor's dogs start barking every time something happens. But if you guys weren't at the town hall, which is totally fine if you weren't there. But basically, what I wanted to touch on was that Carlos Tovarez, our Dean of Institutional Effectiveness, sent out an email to remind students about the NACCC survey for MSJC students. And if you haven't done that already, please fill out that survey. It runs from October 5th through November 2nd. And we're having a lot of good, I guess, feedback from the Menifee Valley campus, but we're kind of lacking it on San Jacinto side. So please, if you get this, or if you have already gotten this NACCC survey, please fill it out. It's very important. If you know about it, send it out, get that information out. I think that concludes my report.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria. Ariana, I know you wanted to go ahead and report as well. Go ahead.
Well, no, Victoria just said it. I was about to share the same thing. So thank you, Victoria. But just so you know, today the Region 9 Assembly is having their meeting at 2 p.m. And I know Castin showed interested to be part of the communication committee that working on the newsletter. And we are now, we're gonna change the logo for Region 9. So that's going to be really fun to do. So if you want to jump in, I will be sending the information. I was just going to share it with all of you just in case you want to check that out. But other than that, yes, the Eagle Talks, those are fun. I was part of one of them and it's really informational. So if you can attend, go. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariana. Any other executive officer reports this week?
Yeah, I have a report.
Go ahead,
So
Stephanie.
an update on a previous report regarding the meeting summaries. Yesterday during the IE meeting, Jose and I discussed creating a sort of portfolio where each committee will have its separate folder to upload their minutes instead of creating a summary, because it may be a lot of work. And your minutes are basically the summary. We're still working on that, but I'll keep everyone updated.
Perfect. Thank you, Stephanie. Any other executive officer reports?
I got the ICC like reports and stuff if y'all want to hear.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Cool. So John from Puente, the day of the Dead has been set. It's gonna be on November 2nd, and it should be like the whole like thing of it is to send in pictures to be judged. Next up is the political science. They're gonna have like a live forum on YouTube. The video of the board of trustees, if you guys didn't make it, it's gonna be on YouTube soon. The next club is the science or the sociology club. I forget which one it is. It is the what's it? Oh, sociology area. On the 27th, they're having a presentation on men's health. And on the October 29th, they're going to have a Halloween movie night. Mu Alpha Theta is going to have like a Jeopardy competition on November 13th from noon to 2. It's like for algebra to Calc 1 type math. And the gaming club is planning to have like a collab with Hope and STEM. That's about it.
Perfect. Thank you, Nick. Any other executive officer reports? I did see Tracy. Did you want to say something as well?
Oh yeah, so I will talk more when we discuss agenda item 4. But yesterday I sent out 2 documents. One is about our SGA relief fund and scholarship application questions like templates. The other one is about some fundraising ideas. So please just take 1 minute to like go through the document and check out each link. Yeah, so yeah, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Tracy. Any other executive officer reports?
I have a report.
Okay, go ahead.
So we are doing a collaboration with Hope and STEM, as what Nick said. And we're gonna have the event on Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. And I attended their meeting yesterday night, and we decided it's gonna be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it's a game night, so we're gonna be playing Among Us through Zoom. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle. And before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and ask Jose. I know we already skipped advisory reports, but do you have any reports for us this week?
Hey everyone, no reports this week. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Any other executive officer before I move on? Alrighty, I will go ahead and just give my report. You guys just said everything I wanted to say in my report. Basically, I just want to, I'm really glad to see you all, as well as just, I want to start off with events that occurred this week. So as Suzanne mentioned, we did have an Undocumented Student Week of Action with many panels and workshops and updates as well that really support and advocate our undocumented student population. So you can find those videos on our YouTube channel at MSGC Student Life. And then we also hosted a student open town hall forum where we introduced some of our very own SGA members. And we really answered a lot of questions and concerns on topics such as COVID-19, instruction, as well as what are the plans set for spring 2021. So I'll go ahead and give my kudos later in our kudos section. And then I did want to mention as well, if you haven't already, please take that survey that Victoria did mention as well, the NACCC survey. It definitely provides some feedback on your experience with racial climate at MSGC. And it's really brief, it's like 15 minutes, but it's definitely very important. So please take that survey. And then lastly, I did want to mention to students about the free tutoring that is being offered right now by the LRC. So all MSGC LRC centers are open during normal operations, which is 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays, as well as 7:30 to 12 o'clock on Fridays. So for more info, just check out the MSGC website under LRC, and you'll find everything there as well. But please take advantage of those resources that are available for you. And I'll go ahead and move on to our legislative reports. Any senators would like to report this week? No? Okay, I'll go ahead and move on to our committee reports. Any committee reports this week? Going once, going twice. Alrighty, moving on. I'll go ahead and move on to virtual events. I'm going to go ahead and skip this one just because this is already a line item on our discussion and action items. So we'll just go ahead and talk about those in that section. Moving on to SGA feedback, kudos, confessions, and concerns. So this time is reserved for discussions among SGA legislators related to feelings, thoughts, intergroup dynamics, and group norms. Items on the agenda may not be discussed during this time. So everyone, how are we feeling? I know it's been another week down. I'm definitely feeling much better this week compared to last week. I know last week I had a lot of midterms and assignments, and this week has definitely been much better. But how's everyone doing?
I'm doing good. I have like a couple more midterms left, but yeah, it went well though, the ones I did too. But I'm glad this week is almost over. So
I'm really glad to hear that. Victoria, Stephanie, how have you guys been doing this week?
Pretty good, I would say. I'm stressed out, but I feel like I'm always stressed out these days, to be honest. But I don't know. I feel like SGA has been doing a lot. I really enjoyed the town forum that we had for like the virtual brown bag. That was really fun. I kind of look forward to the next one, definitely interacting with faculty and some other students, hearing about what they have to say, them asking questions. So I've been doing good.
Definitely agree.
Yeah, I've been doing good, a little stressed, but I feel like stressed is the norm these days.
Definitely. You guys did such a great job. And I do want to give a quick kudos to everyone that was present and just overall our whole team. You guys are doing such a great job during this time, and I couldn't have asked for a better team as well. I do have a quick message for you guys from Kristen Grimes. She works with Roger Schultz, and I wanted to share this with you all just to give you kudos as well. So this is her email. Let me go ahead and bring that up for you guys. It goes with, quote, Brian, just a quick thank you and applause for a good job well done today. You and your SGA team did a fantastic job presenting information, being a positive point of contact for students and answering questions/concerns. Please show the gratitude with your team for the work they did this morning, as well as everything they do in support of their fellow students on a regular basis. Thank you, end quote. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thank you guys for really doing such a great job, and I really couldn't be prouder for the team that we have. Maya, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Gosh, I just wanted to echo what Brian just said. I know I mentioned it earlier in my report. You guys just made me so proud. It was fantastic. I just, yeah, you did everything that I think student leaders are called to do. I think this is a calling. I think leadership is a calling. And Victoria, I want to especially just kind of underline, bold, highlight your comment just now about stress, right? And what everything, what you all are navigating and what we are navigating collectively, right? I think, we had a national debate yesterday with our two future potential presidents. And I think we have to talk about the fact that we are existing right now in a time of crisis. We are existing right now in a time of uncertainty, I think never before seen in a generation. That's including my parents' generation, not even just you all. So I just want to give you a major shout out for existing, right? For just waking up and like drinking your little coffee and your little cereal, eating your cereal and doing whatever things that you eat in the morning. That's what I eat. But so just shout out to you, and just, give yourself some credit and be kind to yourselves, because this is a lot. And just the fact that you're here right now sharing space with us is incredible. So, and that goes for anybody that's going to watch this in the future, any student, any faculty member, any staff. We just need to be kind to ourselves, and it's enough. We are enough, and we're going to get through this. We're going to be okay. We're absolutely going to be okay, but it's hard. So anyway, thanks. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Maya. Everyone else, just quick kudos. Thank you guys once again. I really couldn't be prouder for you guys. Anyone else have anything to say in regards to kudos, confessions, and concerns?
I actually have another announcement that I forgot to mention, if I can mention that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Maya, by the way. So PTK usually would hold blood drives on campus, but because of everything that's kind of going on and closure and everything, we actually had to cancel all of our future like blood drives and everything like that. So if you can, we would like to, I guess, promote off-campus blood donation. So if you have the chance and you're out there, please donate blood. If you can, it really mean a lot. We're kind of going through a lot right now in the world. So if you have the time, please donate blood at an off-campus donation center. It's very important. So thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Any other kudos, confessions, concerns, anything at all, guys? I want to make sure I hear from everyone just to see overall how we're overall feeling this week.
I have something.
Go ahead, Susan.
Thank you. I just wanted to, highlight Caston, because I don't know if you've checked your email this morning, Caston, but Caston was a recipient of the Dreamers Poetry and Art Contest Scholarship. So congratulations, Caston. Your piece was beautiful.
Thank you.
I put the link to view her piece on the website in the chat down below, but go check it out. It was awesome. Congratulations, Caston.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Caston. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Congrats, Caston.
Thanks. Yeah, this is like my first time ever getting an award, so it's really special. Thank you.
We're proud of you, Caston. Ariana, I did you want to say something too?
Yes, I have kudos for you, Ryan. He has been really on the game when it comes speaking for the students. He talked beautifully on the town hall, and I've been working really close with him, and I just see him really devoted. And I told him last night, I was texting with him last night, and I told him, you are so devoted to us, and I cannot be forever so thankful. So please, if you have any concerns, question, he is your resource, okay? He has been working so close with Roger, with Dr. Coulson, Kristen Grimes, even Maya. He is everywhere, guys. He is working so hard for us on this virtual environment. So, and I'm again so grateful to be able to be a team with him, and I work so close with him again. So kudos, Brian. Thank you so much for everything you do. So yeah, that's my kudos.
Thank you,
Word,
Ariana.
word,
Thank
word.
you. Thank you.
Hello, Brian.
Anyone else? Any kudos, confessions, and concerns before we go ahead and move on to our public comments?
Go Dodgers. That's it.
Perfect. And lastly, if you haven't already, please stream Positions on Apple Music or Spotify. I would really appreciate it. Ariana Grande released a new single, and as you guys know, she is my favorite artist. So go ahead and stream that. But if there is no other kudos, confessions, or concerns, I'll go ahead and move on to our public forum. Advisors, do we have any public comment on non-agenda or agenda items?
No public comment this week.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and move right on to our discussion and action items. I know for the first one, can we go ahead and get those two members on the line, please? If they are. But the following items may be discussed and voted on at this time, 8 minutes per topic with 1 minute per speaker. Members of the public may speak after the discussion by the voting body has closed and before a vote by the voting body is taken. So first on our discussion and an action item, we do have a discussion and approval of $295 for the Hope and STEM annual charter fees. Advisors, you want to go ahead and just provide a little bit more insight in regards to this line item? I know we will have 2 members present from Hope and STEM just to talk about this line item as well, but just to give an overall feel, what is this line item about?
Yeah, so I can go ahead and chime in. Thank you, Brian. So Hope and STEM is a new club here at MSJC, and they are also, their goal is to be part of the Honor Society. So there's an Honor Society out there specifically for the STEM fields. So right now they are a charter club, but they're not officially part of the society as of yet until these fees are paid. This is a conversation I did have with Maya in advance, just about some of the challenges that some of our clubs are facing when in regards to sending payments to these, organizations, and, with us being on campus and us not having a very, I'm just going to say not a great system as of now of helping these clubs pay for these fees electronically. We want to see if SGA can help support this initiative. So we are proposing to all of you that, SGA help pay this annual fee. This, of course, can be discussed on a yearly basis, but, for this year, it'd certainly be great if you all can help for sure. So it can be more of a discussion as well. And I do see Aldolfo here on the line who can provide you a little bit more information about the Honor Society itself, but that's pretty much what I have to say in regards to the line item. And then I don't know if Maya had anything else to add to that.
I do, just really briefly.
Yeah.
So just to give some historical kind of background on these kinds of votes, y'all. So as a student government, y'all have actually an increased budget this year, a bit. Jose and I were kind of talking about that, and Brian, you've probably already shared this, and so y'all are already aware. So we do have, more funds available to us than we've had in previous years. And I do think that this is a really good thing to support. We definitely want to provide, as much financial assistance to our clubs as we can, right? We haven't necessarily had the funds to do this in the past, so we really haven't done this as an SGA in the last, certainly last 5 years since I've been here, because we just really didn't have the money. So now that we have the opportunity to do it, I definitely think this is a great thing to do. Just be aware, right? As with all things that we're funding, we are going to be, setting a precedent, right? So that in the event another club, another national org wants to form a local chapter here, more than likely, if y'all approve this, then, we would probably need to consider future votes in support of other clubs establishing, either local chapters or just helping clubs establish themselves. So that's something we can talk about more, but I just wanted to give some historical background. We haven't done this necessarily in the past. This is definitely similar to PTK. We don't do this with PTK as of right now because technically PTK operates underneath the Division of Instruction. So it's a little different, a little unique. But either way, I think this is a good thing. And whatever y'all want to do, I'm definitely in support. But as obviously one of the advisors, I think this is a smart thing to do.
Yes, definitely. And I want to give time for Adolfo. You can go ahead and just present more information to the team Thank you for tuning in and being present.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to begin by saying thank you all for providing us the opportunity to speak today. Hope National STEM Honor Society and Club aspires to lead student participation across a variety of traditional science, technology, engineering, and math majors, behavioral sciences, design, into services projects for our community, honest work, and higher standards through our values. Our standards of a minimum 3.0 STEM GPA, a minimum number of enrichment hours, and leadership roles reflect this. We are a single chapter from a national organization that works with Mount San Jacinto College to address some of the most difficult issues facing STEM, which is awareness, literacy, retention, and under-engagement of groups such as women and minorities. We arduously undertake these challenges to ultimately create a space where everyone is encouraged and feels safe to pursue STEM majors and minors in higher education. We serve as the mediator between high schools and universities to ensure that all STEM students have peer support and opportunities for growth. As educators and students, I believe you can relate to those moments where a faculty member or other students made you feel welcome and the environment pushed you and challenged you into a field you enjoy and achievements you can boast. And now onto the charter fee with Keston.
Hi, so while I am a part of SGA, I'm also public relations for Hope and STEM, so I'm going to be sharing this next part. The National STEM Organization collects annual charter fees of $295 for each chapter in order to fund scholarships, internship opportunities, and resources for each member. They are a nonprofit, so you know that every additional dollar goes directly into the resources for students and not into the pockets of people you won't meet. With tight budgets and hardships, we often find ourselves unable to meet necessities and even less with membership fees. We are asking the student government to pay for this charter fee so that our student population absolutely does not feel intimidated by the expensive membership of $30 during these especially challenging times. Finally, what are our goals with this club with Adolfo?
Our goals with this club is to see every STEM student at every stage in their career and give them the tools needed to be outstanding leaders and successful graduates. Compared to a minimal fee of $295, students get the opportunity to earn thousands of dollars in scholarships, as well as invaluable time in their field. I can mention the names Casson, Mahak, Tracy, Haley, and Alexis, who are all approaching their transfer date. These students have proven that we are motivated enough to hold virtual events and collaborate with accomplished professors at MSJC. As I finish my speech, Dr. Hector Aguilar Carnero, one of our many guest speakers, also finishes his virtual lecture on COVID-19, vaccine developments, and antiviral strategies for our biological lecture series this semester. With each passing minute, we also approach closer to the deadline where our student members will give an informative presentation on COVID-19 to the MSJC community and various K through 12 schools in the area. You will not only be investing in MSJC students, but to the surrounding communities as well with our services projects. I asked the Student Government Association to help pay for the $295 charter fee to facilitate these events and encourage our students to accomplish so much in their time at MSJC. Thank you. And I will also post our contact information in the chat as well. Are there any questions?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to go ahead and give kudos. Thank you for being present with us today. Thank you for bringing this information to the team. Are there any questions for Adolfo? Any comments, concerns at all, or Caston, because they are both a part of Hope and STEM, as well as Tracy?
No questions. Just a comment. I really love what Hope and STEM is trying to accomplish, and I'd love for SGA to like approve of this to help them and like their club, like even like Caston and Tracy being in this too, like that's amazing. So Adolfo, thank you for your speech. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know, it's just a hunch, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna approve of this for you because like I said, Hope and STEM's goals have been like immaculate. Like I love it. So I'm all for it. Thank you.
Perfect. Any other question, comment, or concern for Adolfo?
Brian, I have a question.
Yes.
Hey, Adolfo, I don't think we've met, but great presentation. I think I'm absolutely in support, as I've already said, of this establishment. What I wanted to ask though is I think this is fantastic that y'all are planning on doing some type of COVID informative presentation for the larger MSJC community. I'm not aware of that we've had anything formally presented to the student body about COVID, really, right? I know we've had some reports from our administrative side, right? Like information about the county and, but do y'all have a date, Adolfo, as to when, or Caston, when that actual event's gonna happen?
Well, with our advisors and other K through 12 schools, we decided on December 4th
Okay.
to present to Paris High School and to our community as well. So that's our date.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So does that mean that it will be on Zoom, I'm assuming, and it'll be an open YouTube stream that everybody can just watch? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And Suzanne, are we helping with that, or the YouTube stream? Do we know if we're going to be assisting with that?
So we met with Mahawk and some other students and advisors to talk about future events and streaming them, so they know the process, and
Okay.
we're hoping to help in whatever way we can if we're available.
Yeah, oh, sorry, Jose.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I said I could chime in because I have a little bit more information. So Maya, I did receive an activity form for just needs your signature. So we'll go through, we can talk about it more next week, but I do have paperwork for that event.
Yeah, so I just, again, from the, I don't know what my feet level is, the 10,000 feet level or whatever. I think this is fantastic. I definitely want us to support it as much as we can. SGA, and if that means, maybe SGA co-sponsors the event by plugging our name into it, that's something I would propose. I just think this is so important. We haven't done anything like this as a college. And frankly, I'm kind of astounded right now that we hadn't thought about this before. So this is exactly what we need your club for, right? To do this kind of work. So I want us to, if we can, I want us to put our, kind of backbone behind this event, support this club to do this as much as we possibly can, whether it's with streaming, which obviously we're going to do, and then just whatever else. So I'd like to maybe do a follow-up meeting, Jose, if we can, with the group, and or maybe just if I can be included, because I'm sure you all have already done that work. But yeah, let's really see what we can do to get as many MSJC students to support it and market it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
We'll definitely connect.
Perfect. Any other question, comment, or concern before we go ahead and motion for approval for this line item? No comment? Alrighty. May I have a motion of approval for this line item?
Motion. Second.
Okay. Who was that? I saw Victoria, but I didn't see anyone else.
Me, Steph.
Okay, Stephanie. Thank you,
Sorry,
Stephanie.
Steph.
And can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Victoria. And I will go ahead and move it on to a roll call. Stephanie, if you can, please. And then Marisela, can you please move our agenda just to the roll call, please?
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
we have President Brian Moreno Alvarez.
I support it, but I cannot vote.
Oh, okay, sorry. Vice President of Menifee Valley Campus, Nicholas.
Yes.
Vice President of San Jacinto Campus, Victoria.
Yes.
Student Trustee Ariana.
Yes.
Commissioner of College Activities, Janelle.
Yes.
Commissioner of Financial Affairs, Tracy.
Yes.
Commissioner of Institutional Effectiveness, Stephanie. Me, yes. Commissioner of Public Relations, Caston.
Yes.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Thomas.
Aye.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Alexis.
Yes.
And then we do not have Daly.
We do have one abstention. Thank you so much, Stephanie. So by a majority of rule, line item 1 has been approved. So congratulations, Adolfo and the Hope and STEM Club. We will be paying for your $295 for your annual charter fees. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. So moving on, we do have our second discussion and approval for $80 for Nu Alpha Theta membership fees. In this particular line item, it was originally $40 because there are 4 members present. But I thought it would be a great idea to have another $40 already approved for them in case they do have more members join. That way they do have those funds already allocated for ME Alpha Theta. But overall, that is pretty much the whole gist of it all for this line item. I don't know if there's more information that our advisors would like to put in regards to this line item.
Well, just like Maya mentioned earlier, so this is kind of the same deal as Mu Alpha Theta has been part of the their National Honor Society before, and they're currently not because they're having to still pay a couple fees. Well, they actually pay per member, so 4 members that are not part of the Honor Society yet, and it's $10 per member. But I like the idea that we discussed of approving a little extra just in case we had, they get a few more students. That's all. Thank you.
And Brian, if I can just echo that. So I think in general, SGA, y'all, this is an important, I think now that we have an increased budget again, because we haven't been able to do that in the past, I really, really think it's a great idea that we really think about in our, especially maybe for next semester, Brian, so maybe it's something we can talk about in a future meeting of just maybe establishing a line item in our budget on ongoing membership fees for clubs. And that's just, kind of the budget that we pull from, I think, every semester, right? Or year even. So that way you don't have to do approvals, right? It can just be kind of a comment on like, hey, this is a new club that's established and, through SGA sponsorship. I also think when it comes to that fee that students are now being charged, right? The $7, it goes in line with something we can say and say, hey, look, this directly supports new club membership, this fee. Like student fees are basically helping students, right? In another way. So anyway, that's all.
Perfect. Thank you, Maya. Any questions, comments, or concerns in regards to this line item specifically? Anything at all? Before we go ahead and motion, I would love to have this approved, please. Going one?
No, I think no, same thing. Like I support stuff like this. This is like a great way to give a great opportunity to other students. So whenever it comes down to supporting other clubs and their charter fees or membership fees, I feel like SGA is really on top of supporting it and putting it forward. So that way other students have these, like I said, these opportunities to do well and succeed in the future. So it's always going to be a yes from me.
I totally agree. I think that now that we do have the budget, I think it's very important to be there with our clubs and really show them our support, especially during these hard times. So I would really love to get everything approved. In terms of having our clubs funded, I would really love to have that. Is there any other comment, question, or concern for this line item before we go ahead and move on? No? Okay, can I have a motion of approval for line item 2?
I'll approve. Oh.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Okay, so Alexis, I have you as you motioned and then seconded by Victoria. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and move it on to a roll call once again. Stephanie?
Okay, we have Vice President of Menifee Valley Campus, Nicholas.
Aye.
Vice President of San Jacinto Campus, Victoria.
Approved.
Student Trustee, Ariana.
Aye.
Commissioner of College Activities, Janelle.
I approve.
Commissioner of Financial Affairs, Tracy.
Aye.
Commissioner of Institutional Effectiveness, Stephanie. I also approve. Commissioner of Public Relations, Caston.
Caston. Okay, we can go back to. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yes.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Thomas.
Aye.
And Senator of Financial Affairs, Alexis.
Aye.
And then Daly is not here.
Perfect. So by a majority of vote, we did approve line item 2. So congratulations to ME Alpha Theta for getting their membership fees paid. So thank you, guys. I'll go ahead and move on to our third line item, which is discussion and approval of $100 for SGA name tags. Advisors, would you like to provide some more insight on this one, please?
Yes, I could go ahead and provide an update. So we went ahead and tried to get a quote for name tags, but I believe that the printing machine is having some technical difficulties, right, Suzanne? So at this point, we could go ahead and approve the line item, but just keep it on your radar that there may be some delays in that processing.
Perfect. Any questions, comments, or concerns in regards to this line item? I would like to have this already approved. That way, once we do get word that we can get those name tags ready, we have that money already approved. But is there any questions, comments at all? Going once, going twice. Alrighty, can I have a motion of approval for line item 3?
Motion.
Okay, thank you,
A
Kathy. And then
second.
can I have a second by Alexis, correct?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you guys. And can I go ahead and do a roll call once again, Stephanie?
Okay, starting off with Vice President of Menifee Valley Campus, Nicholas.
Nicholas. Okay, we can go ahead and go back to him. I'm pretty sure he's on the line right now.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay.
So, Vice President of San Jacinto Campus, Victoria.
Aye.
Student Trustee Ariana.
Aye.
Commissioner of College Activities, Janelle.
Aye.
Commissioner of Financial Affairs, Tracy.
Aye.
Commissioner of Institutional Effectiveness, Stephanie. I also approve. Commissioner of Public Relations, Caston.
I approve.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Thomas.
Aye.
And then Senator of Financial Affairs, Alexis.
Aye.
Perfect, thank you, Stephanie. And then Nick, do you approve of it? I just want to make sure it's clear. Nick?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to have that for the record. So thank you guys. So we did approve line item 3 for $100 for SJ name tags, and hopefully we can have an update on that, hopefully soon. But thank you guys. Moving on, we do have our discussion and approval of SGA Relief Fund and Scholarship templates. So Tracy and your team, you can go ahead and take it away.
Can I? Yeah, thank you, Brian. Can I share my screen? Thank you, Marisela. Okay. Okay, so here is the application template. We kind of like discussed it with Rebecca yesterday. So we do have to approve this template today. We kind of like want to discuss more about it. So, okay, let me check here. Okay. So first we have to discuss about our SGA Pledge for Success Relief Fund. We approved $3,000 last week in our FA meeting. So it will be $100 per person, and we will choose 30 people. So Rebecca she first suggested we can do like first come, first serve, because when students apply for the CARES Act, on the first day, they received like more than 200 applications because we only want to choose 30 applications. So we don't want to open the application for a long time. So maybe like very short time. Another way to solve this is we can do faculty sponsor. So foundation can email all the faculty, including financial aid offices and all the departments. So the faculties, they can recommend students to apply because they know who are mostly in need. So we're not going to like open the application link to everyone, but we just accept students who were recommended by the faculties. So in this way, we can help students who are mostly in need. So that's what they do for their MSJC Pledge for Success Relief Fund. So if we can go to the website, we can see they have a web page here. So SGA kind of want to do the same thing. We can create a web page like foundation can help us create a web page on our school website. We can put our mission statement here, and we can also put a donation button here. So we can just reserve any money people donated as our, the funding for our next relief fund or scholarship. So yeah, that's what we want to do now. And the first thing, we really want to draft a guideline. We want to provide some basic information to Rebecca. So Rebecca and James, they can help us draft a guideline. So the guidelines is typically just like tell students how can they apply. So as I mentioned before, we want to do like faculty sponsored. I also have an example here. It's other colleges. I think they're also doing like SGA Relief Fund. So here is what they do. So they help individual students. They also help like student clubs and organizations. So there is, it says like individual students sponsored by a faculty member may apply for like $500, for example, and they also put on a form here. They have a guideline. We can save this document for reference. So what they do is that they put a guideline here. So that's what we want to do. We want to come up with a guideline. So it says only eligible, active, like for us, like individual students may apply for SGA Relief Fund. And about the eligibility, we need to talk about it later when we discuss about the application questions. We need to decide the eligibility requirements. And then, yeah, it says like, okay, so the application should be submitted at least 2 weeks. That's what they did. Yeah, they have the should be requested for what and may approve or deny. So they have these things here. We can take a look. For individual students, they have these guidelines. They also have for student organizations, but we're not going to do these. So yeah, so Rebecca, she just wants us to provide some basic information so they can draft a guideline for us. We don't have to draft the guideline. So yeah, so this is our first, now we have to discuss about the guideline. So is anyone have any comments or any questions regarding to what information we want to put into the guideline?
Yes, question for Tracy. What has FA committee been thinking? Like, what is your overall plan for these guidelines? What are you guys thinking specifically?
So for us, we just want to do something similar to this example here. So basically like faculty sponsored, like only like students recommended by the faculty members can apply to the relief fund, because we are not open the application to like everyone, because if we do that, we will receive like more than like 200 applications, but we just only have to pick like 30 students who are mostly in need. So yeah, it's something like qualifications, and how students apply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the scholarship, will we open that to everyone as well, or is that a recommendation?
Scholarship,
as well?
we will talk about scholarship later. So now
Okay.
let's focus on relief fund. Yeah. So scholarship basically like open to everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this guideline is only for relief fund.
Any questions, comments, concerns for Tracy? I'm pretty cool with it, honestly.
I have a quick comment or question. So, Tracy, can you go to the actual questions too?
Yeah.
So that we can take a look. And then another reason why Rebecca suggested having like a faculty sponsorship be part of the option is also just because it'll be more manageable, right? Like imagine if this was kind of on our own, like Rebecca mentioned that you would most likely get maybe 30 or even way more students apply in a single day, even maybe within hours, right? So I think her concern was just helping us manage all of these students that would be applying, and a faculty sponsorship is a great way of doing that. That way it's kind of also going more through her area. And then of course, like Tracy mentioned, faculty will know which students are most in need. And that's kind of our goal too, is providing funds to those that are really most in need. I mean, it's also great when students that just apply to all these scholarships, that's also really great. But SG, I guess, what is your goal, right? Is it to help those most in need? Then I think a faculty sponsorship may help streamline that process a little better. So that was just some input from Rebecca.
Yeah, so should we, do we want to go over, go through the application question first, and then we decide the guideline, or?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Tracy, if you just want to get input on, like, for example, the draft that you have here and questions, I think that's a good start, because these are decisions that we need to make for, that we want SGA's input. So.
Yeah, so because first I want to, determine the guideline, because I have to follow up with Rebecca, provide her some information, what we want to put in the guideline. So if everyone think faculty sponsorship is good, so we can just do that.
Mm-hmm. I'm for it. I like the idea. I feel like it'll be much more easier, and more manageable, as Jose said. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I like the idea too. Just that way it doesn't get too out of hand, or we don't immediately fill up our applications within an hour, like Jose was saying. So I think that's a good idea. It might help. Maybe we could do more of this in the future too. We could see how well this goes and how well it's received for the student body. And then if things go well, maybe we could do this again later on, maybe by next semester, and see how long we do this, because I know a lot of students need the help, and I want SGA to do as much as we can for our students right now.
Okay, yeah, exactly. If this one goes well, maybe we can print something more next semester or even next year. Yeah. Okay.
Can I just make a comment?
Yeah.
I think this is great. We've had similar, I think, kind of conversations in the past, and my concern as an advisor was always just funding, because SJ just didn't have a big budget then. It did, right? I mean, we definitely could have created this. It's just, it was going to impact what other things we could do. But I think y'all are right on the money, literally. The fact that we have, a larger budget, this is exactly why we wanted that larger budget. This justifies it, right? So you're doing, this is it. And I like the idea of streamlining it and working adjacent to foundation and having them help us as well, and just trying it out, right, and seeing how it goes. And we can always improve, we can always change things. But great job, Tracy, man, kudos to you, great job.
Oh, thank you, Maya. Okay, let's go down. So here I put a mission statement. It's just a draft here, so everyone can just take a look. Is it look good, or we have to edit it, or add something more for the mission statement?
I'm reading it, and it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's perfect.
Yes. You did. This is amazing, Tracy. I mean, I will give you a hug right now.
Thank you, Ariana.
We'll give you virtual hugs.
Yeah, Zoom hugs.
Okay, yeah, I feel it.
This is amazing. You again. Oh man, I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, so if everyone like this mission statement, we can just put it here, just leave it here, and then we can just go down to the application questions. So we will ask some basic information like first name, last name. We also have preferred name, which is optional, and student ID number, student email, and also another personal email, optional, phone number, secondary phone number, optional, and the mailing address, and year in school. freshman, sophomore, and full-time or part-time students. So for this one, I think Thomas has an idea. Like, ideally, we can, do 30 students, maybe half full-time students and half part-time students. That's a plan. What do you guys think about it?
I think it's fair. I think it'll definitely provide equal opportunity for both types of students. So I think having it as half would be great too.
And if we
Okay.
continue this in the future too, maybe after this is completed, we can look and see like, okay, who are the recipients? How many were full-time? How many were part-time? Did we have more full-time students applying? Did we have more
Yeah.
part-time? And then adjust as needed in the future. Should we continue this?
Yeah, I can forward. Yeah. I think Caston is talking, or
Oh, I just said I agree.
oh, okay. Thank you, Caston. So yeah, it can be some like data for demographics. Yeah. So okay, so I put this question here, but it's definitely not related. We don't have to ask this question as long as the student is MSJC student, like they can apply. So about this one question, so these questions is what I found online. So I'm not sure if we need to keep this one, because if we keep this one, it means like it's part of our criteria. So for example, like if the students are like EOF students, we will not consider give their relief fund. So for this one,
I have a question. I'm so sorry. What is EOF? I'm so sorry.
oh, and also like I think Rebecca mentioned it, like not EOF, but another similar program. Jose, did you remember what Rebecca said?
Education EOP. I think it's meant
EOPS.
EOPS. Yeah, I don't know if it's
Oh,
EOF.
okay.
Equal
EOPS.
Opportunity Program. Yeah.
Yeah, it's from EOPS. Yeah, I don't really familiar with that.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm part
I
of
can
EOPS.
search. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar. So EOPS is Extended Opportunities Program, and I get why they wouldn't be considered because they already get like I get already like a voucher, with money for my semester. Every semester, including summer, they give us a voucher, so they're already helping us, and they pay for the SGA sticker, parking permit, and they help you with vouchers for books and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. So maybe we need to put this question here just to make sure, like Ariana said, EOPS, the program has already provide like financial like assistance, something like that. What do
So
we think?
Tracy, for this question specifically, you said that we're not taking any EOFPS students just because they're already receiving aid, correct?
Yeah, and I think we have
Okay.
to clarify this one. Yeah.
Okay, I think we should keep that, if not in the guidelines. That way,
Mhm.
like students like don't fill the whole application and get to that point and then automatically it doesn't let them continue on. So I think we should have that in the guidelines.
Yeah. So this one's about eligibility. So definitely something we want to mention in a guideline. Is there anything advisors want to say about this?
I think it's really up to all of you what you want to do with that. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's really up to all of you.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so maybe we can just keep this one in our application template and also
Yeah.
mention it in the guideline.
Yeah, I will agree with that to add it on the guideline. I'm sorry, Suzanne, you can go ahead.
Oh, Suzanne?
Maya. I don't know who
No
spoke.
worries. I didn't want to make sure that Suzanne was. Yeah, so I think we definitely want to keep EOPNS here. I think in general, the more info you all collect, the better. We're all about data. So to be honest with you, I think as much data as we can learn from these students that are applying, the more it's going to help us as a college distribute resources when we can.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah, let's do this first. Let's keep this one here first. And then let's move on. So the next one is what I put like demographics, also gender. But Rebecca, she suggested like, because we give relief fund, we don't really care about like, you know, those things. Yeah, genders, demographics, no. So we can just get rid of these two questions. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So next, I put a bunch of questions similar to like EOPS, like eligibility. So the first one, I don't really know like these programs, you know, it's just like the template. Okay, so are you currently receiving any government funded means tested benefits? So the question is, do we want to keep this one or just delete this one?
We should keep that one. Like, I feel like that's an important question to ask because those, you know, government funding. Yeah, does that make sense? I feel like I
Yeah.
can't really speak, but like everybody kind of gets what I'm saying. Like, this is an important question.
I get
Yeah,
you.
again, the more data we get, the better. And again, as long as are we making this a requirement question though?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as we have the option of NA, right? Or not applicable, right? Like as long as
Yeah.
we have that option, we're fine.
Okay. It also like, are you a financial aid recipient? This question.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, have you applied for CARES Act relief?
Yep.
I think, yeah, we should definitely keep this one. And did you receive a financial aid refund check? I think this one, is this one like similar, like repeated for like the last question of
Yeah,
this
that
one?
one's kind of like the same.
Yeah. Do we want to just keep this one?
I think.
I feel like I would probably take out the other one, and then if we can, in that first one that you just highlighted, I would just like check like what type of financial aid are they receiving, whether it's like the Promise Grant or like a federal grant, just to see what is the statistics there, instead of having refund check, because when they get a refund check, they'll get that refund check from any type of aid that they're getting, but it doesn't clarify like what exactly they're getting. So I think it would be best to describe it in that first question instead.
So the first question, we need to like provide some like example here, like what grant, you know, we have to clarify like what type of financial aid. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and yeah, for this one, I will follow up with Rebecca because we want to keep these questions. So the last question I put here is to describe the circumstances that led to your need. So I think this one can help us like determine, you know, which students is, you know, mostly in need. So the maximum words limit will be 350 words. So definitely they can tell us like a story, like personal story about it.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I have for relief fund application questions. Is there any other question we want to ask or adding here?
No, I feel like you covered it, Tracy. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you guys were on top of this.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, so that's our application template, and let's just move on to scholarship. So we don't even have a title for scholarship. Do we just want to call it like SGA scholarship or come up with an like creative title?
Does this pertain to the relief fund as well, or is this just like an outside scholarship that SGA is going to do?
It's only SGA scholarship.
Okay, then maybe, yeah, we can
Yeah.
call it like Student Government Association Scholarship.
Okay. Yeah, student government scholarship. Yeah, something like that.
Can I ask question, Tracy? And forgive me because I'm kind of playing catch up. And you might have already said it, so I apologize. I was trying to check some emails, so bad Maya, bad advisor.
No.
Did the calling it the relief fund, is that something that we didn't want to do? Maybe calling it SGA relief fund, or is that why Rebecca, her feedback was to call it an actual scholarship?
Oh, sorry, Maya, could you repeat the question again?
Sorry, was the feedback from Rebecca to not call it SGA relief fund? Is that it was better that was her feedback that it's better that we actually call it a scholarship or SGA relief scholarship?
Oh, actually we're doing two things.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
no, you're good. So we're going to do, so we approved $3,000 for relief fund. We'll also approve another $3,000 for scholarship.
Two separate things.
Yeah,
Good
two
to know.
separate things.
Okay, then nope, I stand corrected. Everything looks good.
Yeah.
SGA scholarship, yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's the title, Student Government Association Scholarship. Okay, yeah, so we would try to do like $500 per person. And so I kind of like check out the MSJC scholarship, and they all have like overview and also have a qualifications. These two parts. Just ignore this part. Let me put on. Oops. Just an idea. This one. Okay. So overview. I put a draft here. Again, like it's just a draft. So if anyone want to add anything else, or because I just put our purpose is to support and motivate students in the online learning environment, and also recognize the impact the student has made in SGA and the clubs. I try to find out the right wording for it, because I want to say SGA and also like the clubs. I don't know how can I say it. ICC clubs or MSJC clubs, something like that.
Maybe MSJC clubs.
So in SGA.
Oh, ICC. Jose said ICC is the term.
Yeah, thanks, Jose.
Okay, let me check. Is there anything in the chat? Okay, ICC club. Okay. So in SGA and or ICC clubs?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Or sorry, quick. So well, how does this sound? Inter club council. I don't know. That kind of sounds a little bit more.
There you go.
Formal.
More formal.
So in SGA and or the club council, or right?
I'll type it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Jose. And here I just put an idea here, like when we open scholarship application next semester, we can do something like, social media activity, like share a photo showing how you feel during these times, just a fun activity. Let me see the chat. Okay.
I think that's a great idea, Tracy. I like that. I think it definitely makes the scholarship unique in terms of what it's requiring. And I like that idea of sharing a photo.
Okay. Is that the right wording I put here, or should I put the like in SGA and or?
I think that looks good.
It looks good. Okay. Yeah. So that's an overview I put here. Is there anything we want to add in, or it looks good?
Yes, Caston has an idea. Go ahead,
Okay.
Caston.
So before I present my idea, is the qualifications for both scholarships?
Oh, this qualification is only for scholarship.
Okay.
Yeah. Relief fund. So for relief fund qualifications, like eligibility, we just talk about like these questions.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like determine. Yeah.
Could we maybe, I don't know, maybe take the GPA either to 2.0 or just not have one, maybe just because students are struggling during this time, and to have a certain standard for what, I don't know, to me it just seems like we shouldn't really have a GPA qualification, because it's just, we're serving the students as a whole, not certain students. I feel like, what do you
I
guys
feel like with scholarships though, I feel
Mhm.
like we should have a minimum GPA requirement. And like, I'm normally like against GPA requirements, but I feel like for scholarships and like stuff like this, it's kind of needed
Yeah,
in some way, just so that we have like some structure with it. Like I feel like minimum GPAs and minimum like unit requirements should be a thing for any kind of scholarships. Like for the relief fund, I feel like that's not necessary. For
Yeah.
a scholarship, I feel like it is, just so, like I said, so we have that structure and it kind of helps it keep more organized, just because this is a scholarship. You're applying for this for your like outstanding work and your recognition for whatever impact you have created on a kind of a club or in SGA. I feel like that's kind of something that we kind of need for this.
I have a thought as an advisor, but it's just a thought.
No, go for
ahead,
it, man.
Naya.
Okay. So couple options I'll present to y'all. One, you could lower the GPA to make it 2.0. So at least it's a little bit, more of an accessible standard, I guess, if we need to have a standard. Two, you could keep it 2.5 or even 2.0 if that's what you decide to do. Or even, well, I'm not in favor of increasing it, but I understand the need for a GPA requirement. If you do keep the GPA requirement, you could also offer stipulations, right? And so in the fine print, you could have a little qualification underneath that says, well, we already call it qualification, but you could make a note that basically says, the SGA reserves the right to award. I don't know, Jose, we'll have to, you and I and Tracy, we can work on the wording. But basically, you can add a little note that essentially says we can award you something if your story, because are we going to ask them to draft something, right? We are, aren't we? Like, right? So if their story is extenuating circumstances or something, some narrative that convinces you all that if they don't have the GPA, then we can add a little note that basically gives you all that opportunity to award potentially. The only hiccup with that is it becomes more subjective, right? And then there's definitely potential for folks to come back. So in some ways, that's why a lot of people don't do that. A lot of scholarship, or they just make it very clean, right? And that's probably what Orlowski, Rebecca would probably advise too. However, I have to say I'm leaning with Kasten in the sense that, we're in a crisis that we've never seen before. And I keep going back to that, and I think our tendency is to want to think about the model pre-pandemic. That world is gone. We're not going to have that world again. I don't think enough folks are saying that, because there's this kind of collective, it's for our own mental health, or protecting ourselves, right? I think right now we're in an absolute state of reinvention, which I think is so exciting, right? Like we literally can reinvent the future that we want to see in a way that I don't know that we've ever had to be able to do before. So I would encourage y'all to think again, counter to kind of what the old models have been. I'm going to have to say, I think maybe we might consider just getting rid of the GPA. Will it make it harder for us? Yes. Will it make it, less easy and less clean? Absolutely it will. Is that kind of what maybe students need right now? Maybe. I don't know. It's just a thought. If you keep the GPA, I support that too, but maybe, you just, again, you give yourself the ability for students to come in and say, I don't have a GPA because I got kicked out of my house, or I'm, you know what I mean? It's kind of going along that line. I get that we have the relief fund for that purpose. But I don't know. I don't know. So that's it.
It's like you said, I don't want to have like, okay, we have a GPA, but if a student doesn't meet it, then like if their story's good, I don't want to be subjective like you just said. That's my only thing. And if we do get rid of it, then we kind of are, because then it's like, okay, now we have to read. Yes, it's harder for us. I don't care that it's harder for us, because that's our job. But I don't want it to be like, well, this person's story is better than this person's story, so we're going to award it to this person. That's my only thing. I want it to be as fair as possible. That's why I kind of feel like we need a GPA requirement. And if we want to lower it to 2.0, I'm all for that. I just feel like we need some some structure in that, just so then we're not like, okay, this person story is better, so like, yeah, we're gonna go with this person instead of this person. Like, that's my only thing.
Yeah, I have to agree with Victoria too. I definitely think that we should keep the GPA requirement, if not lower it to 2.0. That way it's more accessible to more students. But I definitely do think we should have it just to, I don't want to have that subjective feeling as well, in terms of students feeling like, oh, well, they just chose a student because the student is undergoing this and I'm not. I wanted to be as fair as possible as well. So I would consider everyone, I personally would like to, if not lower this GPA to 2.0 to make it more accessible, but still have this requirement on there.
Yeah, like we can lower it definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should keep the GPA requirement, but we can definitely lower it. So just to provide the context, so Rebecca, she said like most scholarships, their minimum GPA requirements are like 2.5. So what I put here is the most scholarships will do, but I don't know. Like I remember SGA has something like GPA requirements like 2.0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so we can keep 2.5 because like 90% like scholarship they have 2.5, or we can just lower it to 2.0. I don't know, should we vote for this or?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if maybe we can get in touch with Rebecca again and ask her, because you know, we can say, hey, SGA's minimum requirement, like GPA requirement, is like 2.0. Just because, you know, like
I don't think it's up to her though, Victoria. If this is your,
is it? Okay, because
Yeah.
like if it's not up to her, then
Nope.
like, okay, then let's lower it then.
Yeah, SGA decide everything, like that's what Rebecca said.
Okay, then yeah,
empowering you all.
let's lower it.
And then also, if this is a cumulative GPA requirement, you know, and we're not including, you know, this semester, or I don't know when you guys are planning to roll this out, but it may be include more students, right? If we're not doing like just for the last spring, which, you know, a lot of students had to drop classes, so their GPA may be low. If it's a cumulative GPA for, you know, their whole time, then it can include more students as well.
I personally, you know, I'm not someone who usually speaks out, but I do stand firm on we should, in my opinion, is that we should get rid of it just because our SGA requirement is 2.0. So, and this scholarship is for the students. So we're holding them to the same standard as us. While that is appropriate, like Maya said, we are in the middle of a crisis. So we are in the middle of a historical event. And to me, it just, I don't know, I just stand firm on maybe we shouldn't have a GPA requirement. It might be a little more difficult on the other end, but this is for the students. This isn't for us. This is strictly for students. And I don't know, that's just my thought.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Kerstin. But yeah, so scholarship we only do like, because we only approve like $3,000. It means the maximum we have to choose like 6 people. If we get rid of the GPA requirement, it would be, you know, like it would be a lot of application eligible, you know, qualified. So it's very, very, very hard for us to decide, you know, to choose those 6 people, you know, it's very hard.
Can I offer up, because I'm wondering too, and you know, I'm public about this. My bias is to just kind of, I guess if I have a bias, my bias is to say that we need to just, I'm going to go back to it. We need to rethink how we've done things in the past, because we aren't in a world that existed in the past anymore, right? Like all these structures and rules were created under, frankly, under reality that we're not living in right now. So, you know, ultimately it's your decision, y'all, certainly, but I would just ask you to think about, you know, that's what our jobs as advisors is here for. So if nothing else, don't worry about the amount of applications we're going to get, because we're going to be here to support you with that. That is literally what our job is right now. So I don't want you to get caught up in like, oh my God, what if we get all these applications? Yeah, you're going to have to choose, but we can help with that filtering process for you. Right.
Yeah.
So this is where the essay questions become even more important. So in some ways you could model this scholarship, and that's the thought. You can model this really not as a traditional scholarship, but really more of an essay contest. Because if we're awarding 6 recipients, I mean, if you think about your standard essay question or essay contest, right? Like we do an MLK essay contest. I think, and we've done, like, we did one for Juneteenth, for instance, right? You could do something like that, where you really just, you make kind of the questions a little bit simplified, or you maybe create a rubric, so that they have to hit certain points. So it doesn't matter what their GPA is, right? Like you can have a 0 GPA. It could be your first semester here, but you have to meet this rubric. So it's really not subjective, Victoria, to your concern, right? It's a rubric, just like your professors would grade something. So it's a little more work to create it. And so I almost want to say, I don't know how long, Tracy, y'all have been working on this scholarship component, but the relief fund is there. We've already created that. So that's the emergency funding, right? Boom, we're ready to go with that. This, maybe we take a little more time and when I say time, a few weeks. And again, this is something the staff can help with now that the bulk of our programming is over with, right? To be honest with y'all, we don't really have a lot of programming for the rest of the semester. So in my opinion, this should be one of our main priorities as staff to help you develop these questions and maybe a rubric. And so that's something the team and I can chat about too. So it's an idea, right? So instead of this being a traditional scholarship, you eliminate the GPA, but then you really create a strong rubric that is public, that everybody has access to, and they know what they're going to be graded on, quote unquote. So it's a thought.
Yeah, good point, Maya. Tracy, do you mind if you go over the essay questions that you guys have listed? I think that also would make a difference in whether we should have that GPA or not, because I want to see what these questions are going to make students think about, and if it'll affect our decision in any way as well. So let's look at that one before. I know, Jose, you had a comment. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Oh, no. I was just going to say it's kind of similar to a mini grant, right? Because I know the foundation also offers those, and they have a rubric that you have to follow, kind of like an essay rubric. So yeah, we can follow that same format.
Okay, yeah, so let's take a look at the application questions first, and then we go back to qualifications. So here's a general, wait, let me see. Yeah, here's a general essay questions. So it's exactly what foundation is already put there. So these questions can be changed. So I put it here just for reference. We don't want to repeat their questions. I also put some additional questions here, but let's go over these general questions first. So basically in their general application, just to give a background. So in case like some people don't know what's the general application. So when you apply for the scholarship, you have to fill out a general application. And it's so like if you fill out the application, the general one, they can determine whether you are eligible for some scholarships or not. So these questions are very important and can be changed. And we can definitely offer some additional questions to determine their eligibility. Yeah, so just take a look at these questions, and they have really asked many things. And for this one, Rebecca said the foundation can add one more question here, like particularly like asking whether students are involved in SGA and ICC clubs council. So that's one more question they will be adding into their general application.
I like these questions.
Yeah, so these are like the questions they already have. We can't change them anymore. So what we are working on now is for our additional essay questions. So I think we can create like 2 or 3 questions for students to fill out. So these are questions I put. Again, like, does anyone have any other things to add? We can definitely revise them. So I put one question. So asking about if there has any like leadership experience, accidents, or extraordinary improvement in their personal improvement related to SGA and clubs, considering how your involvement in SGA and ICC Club Council has helped your progress towards achieving your personal goals and or your commitment or like in overcoming obstacles to make an impact in SGA and ICC clubs. So this is a question I put here. We have 500 words limit. And the other question I put here is definitely want to hear more personal story about like during the quarantine, like is there any positive like personal story they want to share? They can also share with us. So yeah, these are two questions I put here. Let's discuss about them.
I really love the second question. I honestly do not like the first one just because I do feel like students are not going to want to submit this application knowing that there hasn't been any, let's say, I guess, communication or a bond with SGA yet, especially those students that are trying to apply. And I feel like that question kind of just undermines their opportunity to even get a scholarship in SGA. I really love the second question the most, honestly. I really don't like the first question.
Yeah, I put these two questions. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, no, I was just gonna say, I kind of agree with Brian. I feel like right now clubs are struggling to have events and such. I know that there are some that are doing stuff, but for the most part, as an ICC, on the council and everything, one thing that we've been discussing is attendance for our clubs, and we're not really seeing that many that we were in the beginning, or not as many clubs have chartered yet. We have some, I think we have maybe 8 to 10, if around there. We have 15 according to Jose. Thank you, Jose. So even with those 15 that are chartered, we're not having all 15 present in these meetings. So I feel like right now, maybe that question is something we can either reword or just kind of get rid of it, make another question. I feel like right now, the second question you have on there, Tracy, is really good. Maybe we could talk more about these questions, be a little bit more about how the pandemic has kind of affected us students, and how the things that we've been doing to make ourselves feel better mentally, or how to improve ourselves, or even though we're in a pandemic, is there anything that students are doing outside of the college to kind of show leadership? Are they part of PTK? Are they doing the blood donations? Are they helping with the toy drive? Are they in NSTEM working on that, or having that, the discussion of COVID, setting all that up? Maybe that's something we should focus on more for this, because I feel like right now this scholarship is, I feel like right now we should kind of tune this scholarship towards how the pandemic is affecting us as a campus. And like how Brian was saying, that first question, maybe let's reword that, or just get rid of it and focus on similar stuff like the second question. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Maybe we can reword the first one. So
Yeah.
I put these two questions here because what I put the overview here is two purposes. The first one is support and motivate students in the online learning environment, what they do during the quarantine. And also I put recognize the impact they made. So maybe we also have to reward this one, because I put recognize the impact they made. So it means they have, in the past, even last year, they have to, make some impacts in SGA or clubs. If we want to reward the question, this question, we have to kind of reward this one here.
Can we, if we keep that question, then can we reword it to past tense, stuff in the past that students have done? maybe like not too far in the or I mean maybe or like maybe like last semester or the semester before, something like that. Because yeah, we want to recognize students' outstanding work, impacts that they've made. So maybe this question can be a little bit open, I guess, in that sense then.
Yeah.
Maya, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, no,
Sorry.
I agree with everything you said, Victoria. Yeah, I like leaving it more open, but you know, these are just thoughts. Yeah, but I'm with you.
Okay, cool. Is there any other? I want to hear more thoughts from our SGA members. What do you guys think?
So not to put people on the spot, but Nick, Alexis, Janelle, Stephanie, what do you guys think?
Is good, but I just feel that there should be more of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a GPA type like requirement instead of just like lowering it just because we live in COVID. People have the time to still do their work.
Yeah, so will the GPA be 2.5 or will we not have a GPA requirement for that?
We're still deciding on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
y'all should
it
vote.
makes,
Can y'all vote?
yeah, we should vote on it.
Yeah, we
I
should
think
vote.
we should.
Yeah,
So
because
do
I
we?
kind of like having the GPA requirement, but lowering it down to a 2.0, just so more people have the option of actually getting this assistant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too. So let's go ahead, Stephanie, if you want. Let's do a roll call again, and then just go through everyone and see what everyone thinks.
Sorry,
And
y'all.
Maya, go ahead.
So just for the sake of transparency, and you know, it really just depends on how much y'all like to do this in the SJ, and I don't know how you've been doing it this fall. For this type of thing, because it's just a different type of thing that y'all normally vote on, I would recommend just putting it in your minutes and just putting it on the agenda for next week. Is that gonna hold everything up too much?
No, you know, I was gonna kind of like say that too. Maybe we should pin this for now and come back to, like, everybody can think, maybe even write up some, not arguments, but like, you know, like let's discuss
Like
this.
pros and
Let's have a,
cons.
yeah, exactly. Let's have some pros
Yeah.
and cons. Maybe a Socratic seminar or
Yeah.
something of the sorts,
Woohoo!
and we can and we can kind of discuss this a little bit further.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, for scholarship, as long as we come up with a plan before December, so the foundation can, release the application and student can apply next semester. That's good. We have more time for scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So in other qualifications, like the enroll like minimum of 6 units, is that okay?
That's okay. That's like 2 classes.
Yeah. And then this one is a little bit tricky here because I remember Rebecca said they can check the FAFSA. So like the FAFSA can, demonstrate like whether they need financial aid, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just, yeah.
Oh, sorry, can I comment on that?
Yeah, of course.
You know, again, I know I'm coming late to this conversation, y'all, so I apologize because it's like Johnny come lately over here, but
Oh, you're muted, Maya.
oh no, I'm like my mom, I'm muting and muting myself. So, you know, I'll be honest, I was one of those students that was in between financial aid need and not having enough to pay for college when I was in college. So like my parents made just enough to not have me qualify for FAFSA, but I certainly didn't have enough to pay for my education. So I would just encourage y'all to think about maybe not having that as you know, kind of the low, like in other words, folks have to qualify for FAFSA in order to qualify for this.
I feel like that's exactly what you said, Maya. Like there's students out there whose parents like make just enough to where like they don't it shows that they don't need the financial aid, but like they're struggling to do so. So I feel like this question, maybe we shouldn't have it because there's students out there who need financial aid help, who haven't even applied because, you know, they're missing, like working from in the EAC during that time when I was on campus, like I had students who didn't have access to any records because they weren't in contact with that parent anymore, or they couldn't apply because, you know, they were struggling with something, or they were an undocumented student and they were having trouble with like the DREAM Act. There's a lot of circumstances like that, or exactly how I just said with Maya's situation, you know, her parents made just enough to where it looked like they were fine, but she struggled to pay her way through college like that. So there's students out there who are in those similar situations. And I feel like this is something, like this can be something that we can get rid of, because not everybody has applied or is struggling to make FAFSA work. And I know it's a tricky situation. So maybe this is something that we can take out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Victoria. I think we should take this one out just because we're already asking them in the general applications, how do they intend in using the scholarship? So I would definitely take that out. I feel like it'll limit students from applying if we ask them to demonstrate a financial need. Because we all know how, you know, how our country works. I mean, even if you do make enough money, it's just not enough. And I don't want to have students being deterred from applying because we have to have them demonstrate financial need. So I would take that question off. That's personally me. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I would take that off.
And this is a scholarship. So this isn't a relief fund. This isn't anything like that. This is, hey, you have done amazing work. Like, let's recognize you for that. Let's give you this. Not, oh, you've done amazing work, but your financial aid says that you don't need it, so we're not going to give it to you. Like, and that's kind of how I feel about the GPA. Like, this is something that you've worked for, and a minimum GPA requirement or a minimum unit requirement is kind of necessary for that formality because you're being awarded something. And I'm not saying like I'm opposed to handouts. Sometimes we need those. Sometimes we need those handouts. But this is one of those things where it's like you're excelling in not only, I think Nick said it too, like there's still students out there who, even though we're struggling with this in the pandemic, there's still students out there who are doing amazing in their classes because they're working that hard. And I'm not saying that everybody can and can't do it, but this is a scholarship. And even though we don't want to linger too much into the past of like, okay, like we're in a whole different world, as Maya said. We're in a whole, like we're creating history in this moment because we've never seen anything like this before. But I feel like that shouldn't deter away the importance of having these requirements or these qualifications, because this is something that you earn. And there's people out there who can just skip by through their classes and have a minimum grade because, you know, they're just doing the minimum amount of work. And then there's students out there who are in student government or who are in the ICC clubs that are doing amazing work and should be recognized and awarded for that. And this is one thing that I feel like we need to have these kinds of qualifications. We shouldn't deter them away because they do get financial aid, but we should look at a GPA or their class units, and we should ask them, okay, how are you doing in this pandemic? Our questions are asking them too, like, what are you going to do with the money? And these are the questions that we need to look at. These are the qualifications, that we need to kind of keep an eye on.
I agree. So what I'm going to do, just because we do have about 13 minutes left in our meeting, I'm going to go ahead and keep this as an agenda item for next week's meeting. Please take some time to just really think about what we should, have in terms of our scholarship. So everyone, please keep that in mind. I'll go ahead and send out an email when I can. But if not, please just take this into consideration. What do you guys think is best for our students for this scholarship? But I'm going to just go ahead and just move on to the next action item, just because we do have two other items.
Something?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you have time, please come to our FA meeting next Thursday at 9 a.m. so we can better, discuss and determine, so please come to our meeting. We can kind of like discuss these qualifications, and also we can reward our essay questions maybe. So yeah, that's what I want to add on. Yeah.
Sounds good, Tracy. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Tracy, so much. And thank you to Alexis and Thomas as well for working on this with Tracy. You guys are doing such a
Definitely.
great job, and I'm definitely really proud of you guys for definitely getting this done. I'm really looking forward to having this relief fund and scholarship ready for our students.
Definitely.
And
Okay,
moving
so
on,
just stop share.
yes, thank you, Tracy. Marisela, can you get the agenda for us again, please? Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next line item, which is line item 5, update on SGA t-shirt designs. So some of you, I already messaged in the group chat to please email Jose your shirt sizes so that we can get a quote for from the bookstore to see how the polos are going to work out. So if you haven't already, Jose, can you go ahead and ask the members now what are their shirt sizes? That way we can go ahead and get that for you.
Yes, please, all of you who haven't given me your shirt size, you know who you are. Please type it or private, if you want, privately message me in the chat or just send me an email with that information. Thank you.
Yes, please do it as soon as possible, please. We need those sizes to get an accurate quote. We did have that funding already approved. You guys already approved it before, but I just want to make sure we get that quote accurately as possible. And then update on the just the regular MSJC shirts that we were talking about, how the majority of us chose design number 2. Ariana did work on it, and we actually liked this design. We just updated the color of the shirt, and I'm going to go ahead and share it to you guys right now. Let me go ahead and do that for you guys. And this is what it'll look like. We chose the red color instead with the white lettering, and then student government fits right in the bottom. We're also working in terms of having the back have our, let's see, a number or our name to it added to the shirt. But this is overall, we chose this color. You know how you guys saw the black, but it wasn't really black. So that was pretty weird, but we like the red more. I feel like it makes it pop, and it'll definitely have it look better if we do a black polo. We can have a red shirt instead. That way to have that contrast and give more color to our team. But what do you guys think overall? I see some going in the chat. Okay, perfect. Oh, you guys like it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really wear like bright colors. I always stick to the dark. But how you just said, maybe we could have the black polo and then the red t-shirt. I feel like, yeah, if we're gonna do it like that, then I'm all for this.
Definitely.
You'll probably see
I
me
don't
wearing
have
the polo more though.
Yeah, I don't have a quote on this one yet, just because we're waiting on shirt sizes for everyone to respond to Jose. So please, if you haven't already, please send your shirt sizes to Jose. But
You
this
know
is
who
how
you
it
are,
looks like so
people.
far. Yeah, you know who you are. So please send it out. So this is in regards to the shirt sizes and this line item directly. But any questions, comments on line item 5?
No, I think you're pretty straightforward on that, Brian.
Perfect. And we'll have another update next week. Hopefully the bookstore can get in contact with us to have a quote on the type of polos they have, as well as what an estimate will be for our shirts. So I'll get that for you guys, and I'll have this line item once again in next week's agenda. And moving on, continue discussion on virtual programming for October and November events. Janelle, any update, anything at all that you would like to add for us? I know we do have that movie night coming up, or the movie trivia night, but anything else in particular?
Yes, so we did extend the bad joke contest to October 26th. Caston, do we get any more responses? Because if not, we could extend it another week and we can just see how that goes.
Oh, sorry, my mic. Yeah, we didn't get any more additional responses.
Okay, so worst case scenario, if you don't get any more responses, just extend it another week and just leave, create a story with a discussion feature from Instagram. and just like expect more responses, I guess.
Yes.
And for on October 29th, we decided for the Halloween movie trivia night, we're going to be watching Coraline, and we're going to be using Binge Together, or are we just going to be using Zoom, and then we're just going to have a separate tab? I wasn't too sure about that from last meeting.
Okay, perfect. And then just Marisela mentioned again in the chat, we do have our music study hour. It occurs every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And it's definitely a great hour full of music. It's definitely really relaxing, and I really enjoy attending. So I will definitely, if you do need the Zoom link or any information like that, you can go ahead and check our social media platforms, and they'll be listed there with the flyer. But anything else you would like to add for Janelle, or any comment, question, or concern for Janelle? Okay, I just want to give kudos. Thank you, Janelle, for working on these events. I know that you're the only person right now in college activities, but thank you so much for your hard work and for pushing through. So I just want to commend you on that one. But yeah, thank you. And lastly, call for agenda items. Is there any agenda items that you all would like to see on next week's meeting?
We probably just have the discussion and approval of the relief fund and the scholarship template. I mean, yeah.
Okay, and then I'll also have the update on SGA t-shirts next week as well as just continued discussion, but I'll just change it to fall semester. That way we could talk more into December as well. But any other agenda items that you guys would like to add for me, please?
I also have some like fundraising ideas. Maybe we can take a look. Yeah, so if anyone's interested, please come to our FM meeting next Thursday so we can just, discuss these things first, and then we can be more efficient in our Friday's meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds
Thank
good,
you so much, Tracy. Anything else?
No, sir.
Going once, going twice. Alrighty, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:55 a.m. I just want to thank you guys once again